Hello and welcome to Mini Maths at Virtual School Victoria, where we strive to do a lot of maths thinking in a little bit of time. Today's topic is about nothing. You will learn about nothing. It doesn't sound too good, does it? Let's have a look at this number or series of numbers. Can you guess what it is? They are Roman numerals, and if I was using Roman numerals, there are the digits in my number. The big problem is that there is nothing to represent 0 in the Roman numeral system, as there was not in a lot of early counting systems. So the digit 0 is nothing, but it's very important. Let's have a look at before we invented zeros. Remember where we counted on our fingers, then we collected sticks and rocks and other things to represent each of the numbers. Ones, tens, hundreds and thousands. That number would be 5,948. And there it is again. Now, what would happen if there was nothing to show us that there is a hundreds column missing? It would be a difficult number to write. All we could see is 6, 4, 8, but we don't know whether it's 648 or it is 6 and 48. So not having a 0 creates difficulties. Can you imagine people in ancient times trying to do trade and solve problems? This trader thinks that he's got 6,048, but without the 0, there is a bit of a confusion about what the number might be. Now, over time, a 0 became a placeholder, and it shows where there is nothing. So in this number, we know that the 6 has a value of thousands. There are no hundreds. The 4 has a value of tens, 4 tens, and 8 is ones. So their zeros show that there is nothing in that column, but it still keeps the value of that 6,000. So you can see where zeros are useful. This would look like a very different number if we didn't have the zeros. By placing the zeros there, it puts the 3 in the 10,000s column, making it 30,064. Now, you often hear adults and other people talking about, oh, just add a 0. And if you add a 0 to any number, it doesn't change. Because if you have 3, and you add nothing to 3, it still stays 3. When we multiply by 10, the 0 goes into the ones column and the 3 is kicked into the tens column. So what you're actually doing is multiplying by 10, because 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, it increases the value. If you add 0, it increases no value at all. People often talk about zeros that do a job and zeros that don't do a job. Each of the zeros here are doing a job. They're telling us there's nothing to count in these columns. When we look at these numbers here, these zeros are not actually representing anything, so nobody would miss those zeros if we didn't have them. Now let us think about the properties of zeros. Very unusual behavior. Think of 3 things. If I add 0 apples to this group, I won't have 30 apples. The apples will still be 3. Conversely, if I take away 0 apples from that group, well, it'll stay exactly the same. So the 0 has no impact on addition or subtraction in our counting or our number system. But multiply any number by 0. What will you have? Are you one of the people who said that 3 zeros equal 3? Think about what you've just said. Nothing. You've got to say to yourself, I have 3 groups of nothing. What do I have? You can have 5 million groups of nothing. What do you have? You have nothing, nil, naught, 0, zip, zilch. Think about this number. Every time you multiply a number by 0, this is what you will have. You have 5 groups of 0. You just have nothing. That's how it works. Now, division is another long story the mathematicians haven't yet worked out or come to an agreement on. But the other job that 0 has is another story. It's the divider between the positive numbers and the negative numbers. So 0 is actually not strictly a number, because a number is something that counts objects. When you have 0, there is nothing to count. So you can't have 0 pens or $0. But 0 in the number line shows us the change point from positive numbers to negative numbers. Now, let's have a look what you need to know about 0. 0 represents no numbers, no groups. It is a very good placeholder to give the numbers their correct value. We know the difference between 3, 30, 300, 3,000, 30,000, right up to 30 million because of the 0. The property of working with a 0 is if when you add or subtract a 0, those numbers stay the same, whatever they are. But if you multiply by 0, you will have a result of nothing. And of course, 0 separates positive and negative numbers on the number line. So 0 is all about nothing, but it's a very important idea in our number system. Now, be mindful of the 0. There's some links to the video in your email, and some of those videos are quite interesting. Thank you very much.